All right, what's up everybody? Today is November 12th, 2023. Just a quick update. So now I'm on the passenger side. I've cut out all the rusty spots. And you can see here the floor is cut out. We're actually a little bit bigger than the replacement floor pan is because we did have more rot going through. All right, so what have we got going on? Well, we had this nasty little rusty spot right up in here, and in order to be able to get the grinder in there, I had to go just a little bit wider. All right, so we're gonna have to patch a little section up right here, and it has a downward bend. You can see here it pops up, all right, and that's the way this whole piece was. It would come like this, and it had a contour that went up. So that'll be interesting. And then I had to cut this section here. It was probably about 2 fingers wide. So the floor pan would be right around where my middle finger is at. So I need to patch up this section here. So I got to cut out a little patch section. That whole ridge is to the shape of the floor pan, and the floor pan is going to overlap where those holes are at. And I gotta get a little bit closer look here, but it looks like it's pretty good. Apologize for the lighting there. Got sunlight and it's a little bit shady here, but this section here, it seemed pretty good. Like I don't have to cut any more. There's no more rusted material here. And this piece went all the way through here. So I cut out that section. I cut up to here because we had rust running along this little groove here, down up into here, and I had to also cut out the corner, and that's what we got going on here. So this is pretty interesting. I'm ready to patch in this corner today, and we patch in that corner, and then we can start rebuilding. Once this corner is in, then we rebuild this cover that goes along here, cover that back up. And then once we get that cover back on, we cover it all the way up to here. Once that is in place, then we can start putting in these pieces, all that. Then once that's in place, then we can put in the floorboard. So from the last one that I did, it took like about, I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours per panel. Like even a small panel like this big was taking me anywhere from 4 to 6 hours to start from a piece of sheet metal to a shaped, welded in complete panel. So according to those estimates, we're probably looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 4, about 20 hours. And we spent, what did we spend yesterday? It was pretty much the whole day yesterday, the whole afternoon getting this thing done. About 24, probably about 24 to 30 hours I'm estimating it's gonna take to get it all ready where we can patch in the panel. So at this rate, probably about another 2 weeks. And all right, so I'm gonna go back on the video, put it back on time lapse, and keep going. All right, stay tuned. All right, so here we are. Just finished welding in the corner here, and it came out pretty solid. All right, now I just got to go in there and deburr it, deburr all of the welds. It's welded all the way down up to the lip. I think the lip here is the only section that I didn't. Right here and right here I did, because it's where I needed to start. But you can see there's the weld all the way through, and it's just tack welded. There's some areas that I did have some big gaps in the sheet metal, and that's where the welds get bigger. And then where the sheet metal is really tight, that's where the welds stay small. Let's see, like you could kind of see there a little bit. All right, so we're gonna come through and smooth it all out with the abrasive pad. And then once it's smoothed out, check for pinholes and then tack up those pinholes. And pinholes tacked up, smooth out one more time, primer, and then we could seal it up later. We'll go with seam sealer over the welds. And this right here is actually starting from this crease right here down is actual exterior body part of the truck that will be noticeable. So we do want to take care of that, smooth it out as best as possible, and make it look like it's seamless. All right, so next we can start working on the panel, this panel right here. This panel that needs to be put back together. So we'll start working on that now. All right, today is Friday, November 17th. And here is a quick progress update of where we're at now. Okay, so I've got this panel installed. It runs all the way through here. Got this panel installed. Got this one installed, welded on. This one, this is all one piece right here. And I fabricated this and this section up here. And then this piece right here also. Let's see this, all this down here and down up under that lip. This is all one piece. See the welds there. Came around the outside and here on the outside, this is that same piece. I gotta clean it up. So that's what I'm about to do next, clean it up. And then this little section right here was also rusted out. So once we got that done, then we're ready to start working on the floor pan. First piece for the floor pan is this. And this is gonna go in here like this. All right, I gotta fit it still. We're gonna go up to here, straight line, and then this section here, and then we're ready to start welding in the floor pan. So stay tuned, should be ready in a few more days. All right, today is December 1st, 2023, and quick update, I got this Pour 15 stuff. This stuff is actually pretty great. It's all over my hands from the past couple of days. Been using it. So here we are. We got the passenger side floor pan installed, and quite honestly, the passenger side came out way better than the driver's side. I also sealed this up. I think in previous videos you can see that there's all this was cut open, like a real shitty job of installing this transmission. The original transmission shifter sat about here, and then they installed this transmission here that moved the shifter back over here, and they just had this big ass hole that was cut and the metal was all shitty. So I took another piece of the tunnel from the other floor pan that I had, and I cut it and shaped it and just tacked it on. It's tacked on here. I had to give it some relief cuts. That's another thing that I learned is relief cutting metal to be able to reshape it. And anyhow, so it's got a couple of tacks in it, so this should come off pretty simple with a few cuts here of the tack welds. It'll come out. This is fully welded, so if we need to go in here, we could just follow the pattern and cut it. If we need to install a different transmission at a later point in the future. All right, Pour 15. So that stuff that I showed you at the beginning of the video, Pour 15 went in here. Overall, the spots that had pitting going on, I've installed that Pour 15 stuff. I covered this with Pour 15. Let's see. I put some of this stuff. Where is it? Right here. This glazing and spot putty. It fills pinhole scratches and minor dings and hairline cracks. Alright, so this is some Bondo stuff. There's a Bondo right there. It's like a Bondo in a tube. I didn't want to buy a big ass tube and have to mix it all the time, so I just put it here. This is where that weld was at. You could see a little bit the weld line going through there. it's all covered now. I just gotta sand it down now and shape it. I put it all the way down to the bottom and filled in all of the tack welds that I had here. I have came out a little messy, but the goal is to seal this up. So I sealed up this these seams right here, sealed up the seams all the way up to where the original seam sealer is. So you can see the original factory seam sealer right there, and from there it was missing, and so from here on down, those holes where the tack welds should have been at, I seam sealed this weld line, and also seam sealed it on the inside along this weld line right here too, just the way I did on the passenger side. I'm okay with that, not a big deal, and just gotta slice that off with a blade, and also applied seam sealer here on this side where we had these welds. And the goal was to press in that seam sealer and cover up all those pinholes with the seam sealer. So this is going to be hidden. This part right here is exposed, so that's why I use this Bondo stuff. I don't really trust the Bondo as much as I think that the seam sealer is going to be better. I think the seam sealer was more workable. It's a urethane material versus this putty stuff. So that's why I put this urethane stuff where it's not going to show. I can't sand it and shape it the way I could this, but I think this is, at least from the way it felt better. So there's that. The ceiling, I had a little bit of rust on the ceiling. It wasn't going all the way through, so I removed all of the material that was there. And you can see here a little bit the pit lines. It's like pitted, but it wasn't that deep. It didn't rust through the metal, so it was like it was kind of like a line of pitting that went across the roof there. This is probably like the worst spot right here, and right here there's a little bit more right there. You can see that, and this one I think you can see it more that way. So what I did was I removed all of the rust that I had here, all of the material, got it down to the bare metal, cleaned it, put some rust stop on it. Rust stop is this stuff right here. It neutralizes the rust neutralizer. And then after that stuff dried, I came back in with some Port 15 and threw the Port 15 on it right here, all of this right here. So now it's nice and dry. This is like day one of this Port 15 stuff. And next, I'm gonna cover that up, put all the stuff back together, and we are almost ready to primer this whole floor pan. Do I need a primer the top? I don't think I need a primer the top. I think I'll leave the top alone since we're gonna have a cover that's gonna go in here. So yeah, keep you updated, stay tuned. Saturday, December 2nd. Got the whole floor pan all the way across the passenger and driver side primered up. I think I'll leave it like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and put on the sound deadening material next. That's what's gonna go in there. And I came over the battery tray. Battery tray was pretty shot. Here's a quick little show of it, and it was rusted through. This is it right here. This guy was in here. It was mostly the battery tray, but I did have some pitting. You could see a little bit of the pitting there. So what I did was I cleaned it up, cleaned it all up in there, got it down to the bare metal, put some rust neutralizer on it, put some seam sealer along the seams. I already covered it now. Let the rust neutralizer sit overnight, and after sitting overnight, came back in this morning and put some Port 15 on it. So now it's covered with Port 15, so it doesn't rust anymore on both the top and the bottom. What I am gonna have to figure out though is what I'm gonna do about those holes right there. Those were the tack welds. That's where I removed the tack welds. So I'll probably just take a strip of metal, sheet metal, maybe, I don't know, seam seal it on and just leave it like that. It's for the battery tray. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my battery tray first. And let's see, what can we do about the battery tray? I don't know, I'll figure it out. I might have to sand off some of the port 15 here on the side where I still have some really good solid metal, and mount it up from there and come back up to wherever I have good solid metal. We'll see. All right, I'll update you on the next one. All right, quick update here. So I got this mirror right here. This is the original mirror. I'm gonna get rid of this thing. Okay, original mirror was mounted here, but I got a crack there and it's rusted through. So I am going to repair this. I'll probably shave it off because it's got some indentations there. So I'll probably just end up shaving them off. And I'm taking the door panel apart. Why? Because I need to replace this right here. Okay, door lock is all fucked up. And the other reason is, where is it at? Is because I am installing this guy right here. Okay, this is a dually mirror, the kind that mounts on the door. Okay, elephant ear style dually mirrors. Okay, so that all work is happening to this door shell. This one's the one that's more messed up. This thing was all rattling, but you can see here I've already marked it where it needs to be drilled. Right there, and right there, those lines is where the bottom bracket goes. It has these 4 points of contact. I guess this is more like one. Pivots here, goes up, attaches there, attaches up there, and mirror hangs about right here. All right, so before we put that in, gonna shave this off, get this all cleaned up, get that fixed. And I also found a little black widow living in here, but this right here was all rotted, the plastic. It's that plastic that the mirror is on over there, and it was dry rotted, so it was all brittle and it crumpled up. So I'm gonna have to repair that as well. So I'll keep you updated on this one as well. All right, today is Wednesday, December 5th, I believe it is. Let me check really quick. Today is December 6th. All right, and here's what's going on so far. All right, so I patched this up. I removed all of the roughness that it had. All right, and now it warped, and I'm not sure if I could capture. Yeah, a little bit noticeable right there. Definitely could feel it with my finger, but here is a high spot right here, and it's noticeable right there. It dips, and right here it dips also. Now I'm not sure if that was from the heat or if it's from all this other shit that happened before I owned it. So I came in and I started putting this glazing putty here, Bondo, but I don't know, it was pretty deep, and I went through almost the whole tube. That I didn't have a good level of confidence in that glazing putty to fill this dent here. Maybe it'll work, but no, I'm gonna actually put in some body fillers, some real body fillers, some Bondo in there. All right, so it was already starting to take shape. It had the big part of that dip out of it already, but it was all glazing putty. So I came in and I removed it, with that right there. Cleaned it all up again, and now I'm getting it ready for the Bondo. That's where we're at today. Just about ready to put the floor back in. I got the vacuum shot back. Gonna shot back that out. Did a little bit of welding work right there, and also welded this up right here. It had a hole. I just patched it up. Those are the parakeets. Check out the parakeets. It's like an LA thing. You can hear those guys. They're loud. They fly in flocks, and they'll land on a tree and eat the shit out of that tree and then take off and fly out again, making all kinds of noise. But anyways, back to the lecture at hand here. All right. So I'm gonna now prepare some some Bondo and body filler, and start filling this and shaping it. All right, stay tuned. Saturday, December 9. So here we are. Got it nice and smoothed out. I worked it down with the, I think like the 100 grit, and then went to a 100 grit to a 220, 400, 600 wet. And this is what we got. It's nice and smooth now. I don't feel any dips, and it transitions nicely between the metal. A little bit of a high spot here that I could feel with my fingertip right about there, but that's all right. I'll leave it alone. It's not like we're repairing a 59 Impala to show quality. So this is good enough. What else? Put some, see all those little pinholes there? The reason why they're dark is because they've been filled with glazing putty. And a little bit of a high spot here where the metal's exposed, but other than that, it's pretty smooth all the way across. The only thing that I had a bit of a challenge here is that there's a little contour line that runs through here, and I'm not really able to get it. I sanded down this area here like this, and then below the contour line I went up in this direction and try to keep it as straight as possible. There's a bit of a contour, I could feel it here, but because I had to work it with the sandpaper and sand it, it's not really like contoured by the bends in the metal. Sealed up those little holes where the old mirror was at, and yep, even filled it with the glazing putty. That's the red glazing putty, and it's ready for paint now. So I'll show you the next video where we got paint. Oh, and we also got the sound deadening material going as well. All right. All right, here we are. Today is December the 15th, Friday. And I got this EVA foam installed, and it came out nicely. Let me show you what we used here. We used this right here. This is a 3M Super 77 multi-purpose adhesive. Sprayed it on. First I cleaned it up with some acetone. Vacuumed it, acetone wiped down, got it ready, sprayed the whole surface with that Super 77, and then took this EVA foam part and sprayed the back of it as well. 3 minutes more or less. It was tacky. Put it on. One thing that I would advise if you decide to do this is that once you spray that Super 77 and you start putting on that EVA foam, it tacks on really tight, and it's going to be hard to get it right exactly where you had it. I had put some registration marks on it, so there's one right there, and then one right there, and there was another one right there. You could see that on the foam it's a little bit off from what we have marked on the wall. And what ended up happening, you can see here the wall is a little bit more to the right, the foam is a little bit more to the left, so the foam came out a little bit too far to the back, which resulted in this little bit of an overlap here. So the way that I had shaped it was not exactly where it stuck once I put that Super 77. So that's the thing to watch out for with that Super 77. It's once it goes on, it sticks there, and it's really hard to shift it around. Super 77, tacked it on, heat gun, and pressed in all of the air pockets, and we got a nice air pocket free surface. You can see the ribs there from the sheet metal underneath. And now we're getting ready to install the vinyl for the floor. And so stay tuned for that. All right, today is Saturday, December the 23rd, 2024. Where are we at today? Today, I am getting the fenders ready again to reinstall. I am going to put a coat of tar underneath all the clean metal. I've got the passenger side. This side came out a little wrinkly, but it's all right. Not a big deal. Looks like a nutsack skin, elbow skin. How about that? And all right. So we got this side glued in with contact cement onto the EVA foam. I'm pressing up this piece right here where it bulges down a little bit, and I put a little bead of seam sealer so that it sticks. So while this dries, and I got this guy. Oh shit! I should probably not be there like that. Okay, there, fixed it. It was tipped over. So while this all dries, where's that contact cement at? Fuck, I don't want it to tip over. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's not in here, so that's a good thing. Okay, not in here. Oh, here it is. Oh, good, left it on the ground. This is what I'm using. And it's not really closed good, so let me set this over here for now. All right. And okay, I got the heat gun, just blowing a little bit of heat in there, and it's not really gonna make much of a difference, but this side is going in, and then I'll continue to add contact cement on the driver's side and get that side sealed up. While we do that, while this dries, I'm getting these fenders cleaned up so that I could reinstall the fenders. Let's see, what goes first? Door goes first. So I should probably put the door back on before putting the fender. So let's do that. I'm thinking out loud while I'm capturing this. But so this is the latest update here. It's this right here. So the EVA foam. So if y'all remember that white stuff that you see back there, that was the EVA foam that went in. Tacked it onto the surface. What do we have? We had the bare metal. After the bare metal, gave it a coat of primer. After the primer, put on that sound deadening material. After the sound deadening material, sprayed on some of that tacky adhesive 3M. Put on the EVA foam. Heated up the EVA foam for it to take shape. And after the EVA foam, I'm contact cementing this vinyl. So that's what we got. So I'll show you the finished product once we get there. And then up here we got a saltillo blanket going in, sarape style, brown as well, so it's gonna look nice.